Good morning, team. Okay, so this is for the level 2 full-timers. So this is the ones that are doing the service phase test. Now, I haven't taught you yet this module. This is going to be a new module, but this coursework underpins everything you need to know. So by giving you this coursework with all these questions and giving you an instructional video, I'm hoping that you can go through this and work methodically and get this to me. Now there's 5 questions, they're all worth 20 marks. In total we're looking at 100 marks. You need a minimum of 60 to pass. Obviously the pass mark is 60%, it does say that on there. You do all have a copy of this, I've given it all to you physically. However, if you don't, please get in contact. Aidan got in contact yesterday or the day before, and I was able to send him one straight over on email. I can do that for all of you, just get in contact. Okay, so first question is all to do with just vehicle maintenance. So checking the fluid for an automatic transmission. Now there's so much information to be found online about this. Please do not write about a manual gearbox. The procedure for checking an automatic gearbox fluid level is very different to a manual box. You will need to research this, okay? Please do not just write, check it with a dipstick in it, because that isn't gonna wash. I need to know all of the procedures around checking the fully automatic oil, what you're checking for, how you're checking it, what scale you might use, is the scale on the dipstick, is there any pre-checks we need to be doing, is there anything we need to be doing before we check the fluid, all of that, okay? Please, detail is key. Okay, identify 3 checks for a forward wheel drive shaft. Pretty simple, okay? You should all have learnt about drive shafts in transmissions, how to check them. Okay, checking the CV joints, checking the gators, all of that good stuff in there. So describe a procedure for changing the engine oil and filter. This sounds like an easy question. It needs to be detailed. I do not want any of you doing a sump plug back up with a breaker bar. I do not want any of you telling me that you just fitted an oil filter without putting any oil around the seal and checking if the seal has been removed from the old filter. I need you to be detailed. And then again, on question 1D, it says identify 3 vehicle systems that require an inspection. So these are vehicle systems. They are subsystems of the car, okay, that allow it to run. So an example would be the lighting system, okay? 3 systems that you carry out inspections on during a service. Pretty simple. Question 2 then, let's move down the page a little bit. We've got to describe how you'd measure the tread depth of a tyre to ensure that it meets the legal requirements. We've just been through that on chassis tech, no problems at all. State the minimum legal requirement relating to the depth of the tread. We've done that again. Now, there are differences in those questions, so please don't write the same thing for both. Just have a look at what they're asking. They're asking slightly different things there. In relation to steering, describe how you check the following: a ball joint, a steering rack, and a steering box. Now I'm looking for you to write about how you would practically apply the correct technique to check that particular component. So on the ball joint, if we're looking at the track rod end, how are you checking that? Where are you placing your hands? Is the car on the ground? Is it off the ground? You know, what in particular are you doing to the wheel or to the tyre or to the suspension joint, whatever you're checking? Please make sure you're detailed. Describe why it's important that tyres are maintained correctly as part of regular routine maintenance. That is a very simple one. I'm not even going to bother. Question 3 then. Oh, let's have a look at that. The formatting's not very good, is it? Apologies. There we go. So, hello. Look what it's done now. Let's go back. Pump that up there. And let's have a look at that. Question number 3 is split up for some reason. Oh well. Identify 2 checks that you would carry out on an exhaust system. Quite simple. You've been doing engines, been doing exhaust, you've done that in the workshop. I can't see a problem with that. Then B, you've got to describe how the exhaust gas of a light vehicle spark ignition, so that's petrol, would be checked to make sure it conformed to legal requirements. Think about MOT checks, think about what they do, how they check the exhaust gas, what they're checking for. Lots of information to be found on that. Identify 4 checks you would make to assess the condition and serviceability of a telescopic suspension damper. Again, we've been over chassis tech. You've done McPherson struts. You know how to check them. You know how to check the damper. Okay, that next question is just about getting a defect on a car, what you should do, and that's quite simple. Question 4 is electrical systems. Now, in electrical systems, this has been covered pretty much to death. I've done electrics a lot with you. I'm expecting you to be able to know how to check a battery, know how to check lighting system, and know how to check headlamp alignment. The headlamp alignment, I want the diagram as well. So what you're typically expecting from a typical car for the headlight beam pattern. Think about MOT specs again, lots of information online. So this question is about general aspects of routine vehicle maintenance. So you'd have done engine tech with Jamie or Ryan, and you'd have done lubricants. So you'd have known about the oils, viscosities, multigrades, what they mean. So that's a simple one. State 3 reasons why in the first 2 or 3 years of a vehicle's life it's important to use recommended parts. That's an easy one. Okay, think about warranty, things like that. Quite simple. State 2 regulations against which roadworthiness of a vehicle is assessed. So this is talking about actual regulations to make sure that we are keeping the vehicles roadworthy. Quite simple. And you've completed routine maintenance on a vehicle. State 3 things which should be checked to ensure it meets the customer's expectations. That's a bit different. We're not talking about, the mechanical or technical or professional side. Well, sorry, we are talking about the professional side, but we're not talking about the technical side. Things like making sure you clean your surfaces down, don't leave fingerprints, wipe any oil splodges, make sure the area's clean, using VPE, make sure the VPE is removed. All of those things, the good stuff that we spoke about being a professional technician. Okay, so that's 5 questions, 20 marks each, 100% max. I hope this helps. Please get it done and get it to me as soon as possible. I have made a folder, so I've made folders in my inbox, okay? And in them folders, here I'll show you actually just quickly. In them folders, what you've got is you've got the different courses and the different people in those courses. So every time I get a bit of work, I make sure I load it into that. And when I get the work, I'll load it in there and then we'll print it once we get back. Okay, that's been me. I hope that's helped. Take care.